For many years, Judge Judy has ruled the court docket together with her sharp wit and no-nonsense authority over that point. She have become a family name synonymous with justice. But beyond the gavel and robe lies a personal lifestyles few genuinely understand. In a beautiful turn of events, the Queen of Court Ducat Television has subsequently damaged her silence at the divorce that upended her seeming unshakable global, what she found out about the struggles behind her public persona. Not handiest, shocked all and sundry, however, provided a unprecedented glimpse into the vulnerabilities of a girl many believed had it all. Collectively, and if you feed them and love them up a touch bit and don't get of their way, an excessive amount of they're happy women aren't. What secrets did Judge Judy unveil, and why now? The divorce that shocked everyone for 13 years, choose Judy Shandon and her husband Jerry Shandon, appeared to encompass an appropriate of a strong support of marriage. But in 1990, the general public became stunned to learn that the powerhouse couple had referred to as it quits. The separation got here as a surprise, specifically given Judge Judy's reputation for solving others' disputes with unyielding clarity. How could the queen of the courtroom no longer fix her very own marriage? And the way is it that she even threatened to have him arrested? The cracks in their courting deliver began to expose after a devastating private loss. In 1989, Judy's father Murray Bloom exceeded away a tragedy that hit her more difficult than anyone expected. Murray were her champion, her greatest supporter, and the source of her unshakable drive. Dropping him left a void that no profession accolade ought to fill. As she attempted to technique her grief, she turned to Jerry for the kind of emotional assist she had always furnished for him. But in the one's important moments, miscommunication and unmet expectancies widened the space between them. Judy's need for consolation and care was uncharacteristic of the strong, independent female. Jerry knew she expressed frustration that he wasn't stepping up during her darkest hours, and informed him he wished to attend to her after years of her doing the equal for him. However, Jerry, like many guys of his technology, struggled to apprehend what this meant. His attempts to console her, though well-meaning, fell short of her needs. When he asked her to make clear how he could assist, her vague response, just, "Contend with me," left him feeling pressured and insufficient. This communication breakdown brought about mounting resentment on both sides. For Jerry, Judy's grief appeared like an emotion he could not navigate. It left him pissed off. For Judy, his incapability to satisfy her emotional needs felt like abandonment in the course of a time while she wanted him maximum. The anxiety reached a boiling factor when Judy threatened divorce if Jerry didn't alternate in preference to de-escalate the conflict. Jerry felt cornered, and responded with an assignment, "Oh yeah, I dare you," proper to her non-nonsense nature. Judy acted swiftly. She filed divorce papers the very subsequent day. Whilst the information of their divorce broke, it reverberated via both the legal and leisure worlds. How may want to the arbiter of other human beings' issues no longer remedy her own fans, colleagues, and critics alike? Grappled with the irony of a family, Cord was not able to preserve her marriage intact. Public response ranged from sympathy to scrutiny. A few pointed to the pressures of their excessive profile careers as a contributing aspect. Others speculated that the acute demands of Judy's grief had created a not possible scenario for Jerry. Backstage, Judy grappled with more than just her private heartbreak. Losing her father had left her a waft. She channeled her electricity into her burgeoning profession, but at the same time as she offered a stoic front to the world, she privately admitted that her father's demise had uncovered vulnerabilities she wasn't accustomed to dealing with. As opposed to processing her grief fully, she redirected her pain outward and blamed Jerry for not being the partner she wanted. She lately advised a reporter, "I was so unhappy whilst my father died, that in simpler emotion for me to cope with turned into being indignant at Jerry for no longer selecting up the slack than dealing with the unhappiness of the loss." The divorce left each Judy and Jerry reeling, but their story failed to give up there. Unbeknownst to the public, the two persisted to battle with their emotions for one another, as tons because the split shocked every person else. It also served as a turning point for the couple. A second that compelled them to confront not simplest their courting, but themselves. What occurred next might show simply as unexpected as their divorce. It showed that even the most powerful bonds can every so often ruin. And heal once more, while the general public wed if Judge Judy's legendary resilience could manual her lower back to love the couple's next steps, found out. A tale a long way more complicated and hopeful than every person should have anticipated. Judy and Jerry's reunion, a love rekindled a year after their dramatic cut-up, what appeared like the give-up of Judy and Jerry Shandling's love story, had become the start of a shocking new bankruptcy in 1991, just 12 months after their divorce. The couple determined themselves drawn again. Collectively in approaches neither could have expected despite their variations and the emotional toll of their separation, Jerry found out that their bond had no longer been severed completely, it had merely frayed. It commenced with an unexpected phone call. Jerry became unable to shake the absence of the girl he'd shared his existence with for 13 years. He reached out to Judy and asked her to fulfill for dinner. Reluctant, however, curious Judy agreed over the meal. Their dynamic again, effortlessly, it became as though no time had handed pie. They laughed, reminisced, and shared tales approximately their attempts so far. Others stories that simplest underscored their specific connection. One tale specifically caught with Judy acknowledged a disastrous date with a man who she bluntly suggested to rethink his dinner order. It became in this second that Jerry found out he nevertheless wanted to be the person by her side. Their dinners have become a recurring Jerry confirmed up, often on the circle of relatives court where Judy worked, and offered to stroll her home through downtown Manhattan. It had become throughout any such walks that the pivotal moment occurred as they strolled. Jerry stopped, all at once, and confessed his pain with their contemporary association. "I can't maintain spending time with you like this," he said. "If I'm going to be with you, I need to be married to you," Judy laughed. "She first of all idea," he became joking. However, Jerry changed into critical. He counseled they go to the clerk's office right then and there to get a wedding license. What came about subsequent could simplest be described as fate. The clerk identified the urgency in their request and bypassed the usual 24-hour waiting duration. He issued their license straight away. Judy, known as her first-rate friend of 40 years, to serve as her maid of honor at the same time as Jerry enlisted his son as satisfactory man. The intimate ceremony turned into officiated by means of a New York Supreme Court justice in his chambers. It became both unplanned and profoundly significant, in contrast to their first wedding, which had been larger and greater conventional. This remarriage reflected the maturity and information they'd gained via their journey. Their relationship after the reunion changed into markedly different each. Judy and Jerry had discovered from their time apart. Judy found out that she valued having a partner to fuss over, someone she could percentage her existence with, notwithstanding her fierce independence. Jerry, then again, understood the significance. Experiences, Judy and Jerry have shared key insights into what makes a wedding thrive, revealing a balance of individuality, partnership, and unwavering commitment for Judge Judy. The cornerstone of a success marriage lies in keeping a feel of individuality. In current interviews, she has emphasized the significance of not spending every waking second collectively, she calls it lethal, for a relationship. Judy believes that retaining personal space and pursuing unbiased interests no longer most effective nurtures man or woman. Boom. However, additionally, Al keeps the connection fresh. Marriage does not mean you lose yourself, Judy has said. Jerry and I even have always reputable every other's autonomy, and that is what maintains us going for her. This indicates pursuing her passions in regulation and TV whilst encouraging Jerry to comply with his personal pursuits. Their careers, although disturbing, have allowed them to discover their capability as people, even as coming collectively as companions on the cease of the day. Some other lesson Judy has championed is the role of physical enchantment in a marriage, regardless of Jerry currently celebrating his 90th birthday. Judy has remarked on how plenty she still admires his body. And the attempt he puts into staying in shape, I still like looking at him whilst he walks into a room, she said, highlighting the importance of keeping the spark alive even after decades of marriage. However, she's also sensible approximately the modifications that come with growing old. Each, Judy and Jerry, have shared their notion that keeping bodily health and look isn't always just about appears, but also about displaying respect for one's partner while you cope with yourself. You're telling your spouse that you care enough to reveal up as your best self. Judy has defined Judy and Jerry's marriage has survived its fair share of demanding situations, however. One lesson they each learned during their separation is the crucial significance of communication. misunderstandings, approximately emotional needs, performed a huge function of their initial divorce, and it changed into most effective through sincere communicate that they had been able to rebuild their relationship. Jerry has admitted that as a person of his era, he struggled to apprehend the way to provide the sort of emotional assist Judy needed. We weren't speaking the identical language, he recalled. It wasn't till we commenced truly speak me to each different, approximately what we wanted, that things began to improve for them. Judy, this supposed learning to explicit her wishes greater genuinely, and Jerry worked on turning into a greater attentive listener. Their recommendation to couples is straightforward. By no means assume your companion knows what you want. Jerry in 1990 stemmed from profound miscommunication during one of the maximum tough instances of her lifestyle's grieving the lack of her father. She had anticipated Jerry to offer the emotional help she desperately wished when that aid failed to meet her expectations. Her frustration grew, however, she changed into cautious to acknowledge that her very own emotions were not completely processed. I felt lost after my father passed, she defined. I found out the hard way that once in a while, what you suspect makes you happy may not. I simply needed to come to phrases with the fact that men of that technology expect to be looked after and catered to. Her divorce changed into devastating, however, it became a turning factor. Judy found out that the time aside allowed her to reflect on her own emotional needs and verbal exchange style. This period of self-reflection helped her understand the significance of articulating her feelings and expectancies, a lesson she now considers important for any successful courting. Whilst asked why she remarried Jerry just 12 months after their breakup, Judy's reaction changed into refreshingly sincere. I ignored him. She stated, genuinely, I pass over Jerry. I want to have a person to fuss over. I want to be mated. It's natural for me. Judy also noted that Jerry made signal-effic efforts to be greater emotionally available, which deepened their bond. I found out that we had something well worth combating for. Judge Judy's journey from heartbreak to healing has been one in all growth, self-attention, and resilience as she keeps to inspire millions. Her candid reflections on love and dedication have left an indelible mark, proving that from time to time the greatest victories appear out of doors. The courtroom you observe Judge Judy's studies, comprise awareness for the ages. Percentage, your mind with us within the comments. We'd love to pay attention for now. We are executed. Sees you within the next video.